Tonight on To The Point.
I immigrated to the United States trying to find a better life.
ABC 10 investigates Highland Community Charter and Technical Schools.
I found out about Highlands, say, oh, I'm gonna try it.
What we've uncovered over the past year.
They fill up the rooms with beginner students that are not able to really learn the language at all.
Ridiculous numbers of students on my rosters, like hundreds.
What's underlies that isn't to help more students, it's money making.
And what happens next?
We have local school boards and they run the show.
You are paid to provide financial oversight at Highlands.
Please look at where the money is going.
This is the Wild West of education, an ABC 10 investigation.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight on To The Point. I'm Alex Bell. ABC 10 has spent over a year talking to whistleblowers and uncovered potential conflicts of interest and questionable fiscal practices for financial gain at Highlands Community Charter and Technical Schools. Tonight, in part 2, ABC 10 investigative reporter Andy Judson joins us with another investigation on questionable practices about attendance records.
Yeah, Alex, dozens of sources have told us that Highlands inflated attendance numbers to get more public funds. And tonight, we reveal even more and ask why the entities that are supposed to be safeguarding hundreds of millions of your tax dollars are not providing the oversight needed.
You can see we're currently projecting a revenue of $170.2 million.
Most public schools are in need of funds, but Highlands has so much money, they're giving it away. Between donations and renting this stadium out for a year, Highlands has paid $80,000 to a professional baseball league in Marysville. Yet no classes take place at this stadium, sources say. And that's not all we found in the school's records. $140,000 went to a youth basketball organization founded by their deputy director. $80,000 for a Pebble Beach golf tournament. Highlands has also given over $100,000 to a political group that influences voters. And recently, Highlands Executive Director Doc Smith told his 500-plus employees he'd pay them to see a movie he enjoyed.
Probably give each employee $150 if you watch it.
Those are just a few ways Highlands spends your tax dollars. How does this help their students? That's what our sources wonder.
Are you spending the money in the benefit of the students and the families versus diverting it towards more private interest?
We asked Highlands. Highlands receives something directly benefiting students in return for all of its support for not-for-profit organizations.
Our fund balance is well above what it's supposed to be. We have more resources in the classroom than anybody.
Yet credit card statements show Highlands spends outside the classroom often. In just 3 months, they spent over $3,400 at fine dining establishments, like this steakhouse at a casino. We asked Highlands how they justify these charges. They did not respond.
So that's part of the conundrum of charters, is that they receive public money, but they're privately operated.
Like all public schools, Highlands gets money from students' attendance, and where they can bring in even more is online.
Where you can potentially have 10,000 students in one classroom.
Highlands' online independent study site is called the California Innovative Career Academy, or CICA for short.
And that's where the independent study model becomes a cash cow, because we're able to quote-unquote serve more students on paper.
Concerned about retaliation, this source from CICA, the online side, asked us to hide their identity. We'll call them Alex.
We would just keep swallowing up more and more students beyond capacity, well beyond capacity. What underlies that the ulterior motive isn't to help more students, it's money making.
The school told ABC 10 CICA will generate over $56 million this school year from attendance. For online classes, attendance is taken differently. One way is for teachers to submit students' work to the state to prove that they were there.
Specifically worksheets or homework assignments that they've completed.
But because CICA grew so fast,
you were never able to complete compliance reports on time.
To keep up, Alex said they'd work backwards, marking students in attendance and then later submitting homework samples to prove it. But there was a problem.
We would realize, oh, This student hasn't been active for the past year. How is it that they're still enrolled?
They need to track down over 1,000 students for work samples.
Sometimes the student would just disappear on us, and so we've already vetted and confirmed that they attended for that learning period, so we have to, let's say, magically come up with their work samples. Fabrication, yeah.
The same student's work would also be used over and over, another source said.
Each packet was counted again as extra hours or for the days they missed.
Fabrication for years, sources say. Highlands denies this. All student work samples are original and complete, and that allegations that suggest otherwise are false. But sources say it's another way Highlands capitalizes off newly arrived immigrants.
You can't serve the students that you currently have by accepting more and more students. Who's vetting this? Who's auditing this? How do you keep track of all those students?
That's why the School Accountability Report Card is important. Nicknamed the SARC, California law requires every school board submit this annual report to the Department of Education. But in their report card, Highlands Community Charter and Technical Schools did not tell the state about any oversized classes. 18 students. That's the average in-person class at Highlands, the school initially reported for the 2022-2023 school year. And online, only 9 students, they said.
Do you know how many rosters have hundreds of students on them? Do you know how many teachers do not have enough seats in their classrooms for those students?
This discrepancy was called out directly to the Highlands board.
Several Highlands teachers currently have 300 plus on their rosters. That's right, 300 plus students.
ABC 10 reviewed the last 9 years of the school accountability report cards Highlands submitted, and we discovered they've never reported any class sizes over 40, neither in person or online.
So why are the majority of our students not reflected in the class average data? I respectfully ask that you as a board delay the approval of the SARCs.
After this request, Mark Lutkin took the podium.
I would be always happy to present any updates to any of that information.
He's in charge of their accountability report card. To the board, Lutkin promised he'd change the report card.
It's a document that is very important.
And with that,
Pending correction.
Of course.
After the board meeting, we tried to ask Highlands board president Ernie Daniels about the school accountability report card he just approved.
Daniels, do you mind if we ask you a couple questions?
I don't have anything to say at this time.
He didn't answer our questions.
I truly do want to speak with you and include your voice, so I'll make sure to reach out soon.
We did reach out. He declined. So we asked if any of Highlands' 9 board members would be willing to speak with us. They all said no. Yet in the next board meeting,
to the public who's listening,
Highlands board secretary Matt Powers said they welcome public scrutiny.
We're not hiding anything.
If Highlands board says this, why won't they give us an interview? That's what we asked the school. They didn't respond. They did say they welcome accountability and fully cooperate and comply with the agencies tasked with overseeing the school. Weeks after their February board meeting, Highlands changed their 2022-2023 SARC data.
There's just been a few other things that have been updated.
They told ABC 10 they changed a number of things, including how they capture class sizes. Changes that came only after ABC 10's investigation and Highlands' own employees calling out these issues. Twin Rivers Unified School District is responsible for ensuring Highlands reports are accurate. After our initial investigation, the public had a lot to say to Twin Rivers.
Many of us have seen the investigative report by ABC News 10 encapsulating the tale of corruption at work right in our community.
Highlands pressures teachers and paraeducators to inflate ADA.
You are paid to provide financial oversight.
None of the Twin Rivers board members responded to these comments, so we tried to speak with Superintendent Dr. Stephen Martinez.
There's only certain things that we can do as the chartering district.
You are the oversight committee, though.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
For,
But
for
they
a
also,
charter school that has hundreds of millions of dollars, do you think they're spending that
But the
properly?
charter school also has a board.
It's a theme. The California Department of Education says it's Twin Rivers' responsibility to oversee Highlands. Twin Rivers says it's Highlands' board responsibility. And now, 4 California legislators have requested an audit of Twin Rivers, as well as Highlands, SECA, and the Doc Smith Legacy Foundation.
There are concerns about luxury travel, retreats to San Diego, trips to France. I am a former school board member, and I've never heard of any abuses like that. And so We want to make sure that we investigate this fully, thoroughly.
We've also seen multiple resignations from Highlands, including Special Projects Coordinator Daniel Hahn, as well as Doc Smith's right-hand man, Highlands Deputy Director Kevin Taylor, and Linda Fowler, who played a big role in founding Highlands, a topic we covered in our first episode, lost her re-election bid to the Twin Rivers Unified School District for the first time since 1971. But it's not enough, our sources say.
The Highlands Board, Twin Rivers, or the California Department of Education, 3 entities that are supposed to be providing oversight. Do you have any message for all of them, for any of them?
Get your head out of your ass. They have a responsibility to do something about this.
On Tuesday, Highlands Board President Ernie Daniels emailed all Highlands staff saying they're unsure why ABC 10 continues to pursue this story and told employees to please know this story is not based on fact. But then, in the same email, went on to announce the board's adoption of a new fiscal policy, a new travel policy, and a new HR hire. All issues our reporting has continued to shine a light on. Alex.
And Andy, when we released our first investigation in January, we know the California Department of Education, they sent a letter of notice of concern to Highlands. What happened with that?
Yeah, it's a great question. We've been following up and asking the Department of Education for updates, but they keep putting the responsibility back on Twin Rivers Unified School District, a district that now California leaders are requesting an audit of in response to our reporting. So we asked the Department of Education if they still are entrusting Twin Rivers with responding to concerns and complaints. They have not responded, but they did tell us that they do support the audit request.
And I want to mention, there are a lot of moving parts here. So if you want to catch up on all the episodes of our investigation, The Wild West of Education, you can do that right now on ABC 10 Plus. And Andy Judson, thank you so much.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate it. All right, still ahead on To the Point, Governor Newsom laying out his latest plan to help close the more than $27 billion budget deficit, the spending cut he's proposing.
We're now seeing the hottest day of the year across the region with temperatures still in the upper 80s and low 90s. We'll talk more about this heat up for your Mother's Day weekend.
And later on the back roads, we head to Sonoma County to see a spring bloom that is perfect for a Mother's Day road trip. We have meteorologist Carly Gomez with our Mother's Day forecast. How's it going to look outside?
It's going to be hot, it's going to
yeah.
be sunny, but it'll be nice. It'll be a nice weekend. We'll at least get some breezy conditions in the evening hours, so you're not going to be running the AC full blast or anything. You can enjoy some of that nice evening breeze, but the heat is here starting today. We've been in the 90s, and then temperatures in the 90s will continue through the weekend and into next week. The cooler temperatures, though, are they in sight? Well, we're going to have to wait another week to get those temperatures closer to the average of the upper 70s, low 80s. So please be careful. I know a lot of people have cold water out near you, and you're looking to maybe cool down in some of this riverways, the lakes, rivers, all of that. But everything out there is very cold. The snow melt is happening now, and it's moving really quick through these waterways. So anything really around 50 to 60 degrees is what we're seeing out there. And that's when you begin to lose your control. The limbs, the breathing, everything kind of plays a part in all of this. And when you start getting in the deeper water, that's where things also get a little bit harder to get out of. So again, please be careful. Make sure you're watching the kids and you're using those flotation devices out there to help you out. All right, take a look at the high pressure system in place that's keeping us dry, bringing in a lot of that warm air on land versus the ocean, which has been dropping our humidity levels down to the teens and 20%. So drying out, which of course not good news when we talk about the heat and potential for fire outbreaks. So please be careful. Into your evening hours, the winds will be picking up about anywhere from 15 to 20 miles per hour. Into Saturday evening, a bigger push here from the coastal range spots through the Delta all the way into the valley from Sacramento to Elk Grove, about 20 mile per hour wind gusts. And then once again into your Sunday evening, some more nice free air conditioning as you can turn off the AC and open the windows up to some cooling. Now again, Mother's Day coming up on Sunday. We're going to be looking at temperatures here closer to about 91 degrees. So stay nice and cool and enjoy your time in the morning when it's much cooler. Temperatures 90s for most of the week before we get to the 80s next weekend.
Next on To the Point, Governor Newsom's plan to slash the billion-dollar budget deficit, what he's suggesting to eliminate. The state is facing a $27 billion budget shortfall, and today Governor Newsom unveiled his updated proposal to fix that deficit. ABC 10's Becca Habegger was in the room as the governor laid out his plans, and Becca, he says that the state will have to tighten its belt, right?
Yeah, Alex, the governor laid out a plan to cut spending across 260 state programs and eliminate some 10,000 vacant positions. Now, for the first time ever, Governor Newsom is proposing a budget that addresses 2 years' worth of projected deficits, saying he wants a 2-year budget to become the norm. For example, we reported back in January Newsom was considering pulling about $13 billion from the state's rainy day fund, and he is, but he now wants to spread it across 2 fiscal years. He says his proposal protects the vast majority of core services, including the state's social safety net programs like SSI, SSP, and CalWorks. The governor points out his plan does not include any tax increases.
There are no furloughs. There are no layoffs. We're not asking for wage cuts or concessions. We are asking for 7.9% efficiencies in this budget that will impact our administration.
In response to his proposal, Senate Republicans said in part it is based on overly optimistic revenue projections. It continues unsustainable spending that began during the Democrats' more than decade-long control of the budget process, and per capita spending has more than doubled over the past 12 years. And the California Budget and Policy Center, a nonpartisan nonprofit, had a mixed review, saying in part, while the governor's proposal protects many vital programs and services, it also includes cuts to programs and services that affect the day-to-day lives of Californians with low incomes and Californians of color. Now, Newsom will work with state lawmakers and others to come up with the final budget, and you can see more details about the proposal at abc10.com.
Developing tonight in Stanislaus County, an investigation is underway after an officer was stabbed and a man was shot by an officer. It all began just before noon today along Dirt Court in Ceres. Police say that officers were called to a home because a man was waving a knife at family members. The man allegedly had already gotten away running through backyards, and officers later found him hiding in a car. When they were trying to arrest him, at least one officer allegedly opened fire, killing him, and another officer was stabbed during all of this. He was taken to the hospital and is expected to recover. Anyone with further information about the incident should call Ceres Police. Staying in Stanislaus County tonight, the search continues for a woman missing in the San Joaquin River. The sheriff's office say they got reports of a water rescue around 6:30 last night. They say Brenda Duran jumped into the river after her 11-year-old daughter was struggling to keep her head above water. Duran's 14-year-old son also jumped in, and both of the kids made it out okay, but the 30-year-old mother still has not been found. Time to hit the back roads, and this time John Bartel has a suggestion that's worthy of a Mother's Day road trip with any mom who loves a good spring bloom.
It's a sea of flowers in the forest. John Bartel here, making a little pit stop at Kruse Rhododendron State Natural Reserve.
Just above the misty coastline at Salt Point State Park in Sonoma County, there's a floral display that's rarely visited. From May to June, the coastal rhododendrons emerge from their buds and bloom into an explosion of pink flowers, looking to soak up any glimpse of sunshine that peek through the overcast skies.
Smells fantastic.
The reserve has a little over 2 miles of trails that wind through redwoods, Doug firs, and tan oaks, but if you just want to experience the flowers, take the rhododendron loop, which is just over 1/10 of a mile.
You curious why there's so many flowers here? Well, the simple answer is forest fires.
The plethora of rhododendrons is a direct result of space made by fires in the forest. This forest is normally pretty dense, but when a forest fire burned the trees and brush in the area, it allowed rhododendrons to grow and take advantage of the sunlight.
So the reason we have this beautiful plot of land here is because of Edward P. Kruse. He donated the land to California as a living memorial for his father.
The Kruse family was the founder of the first German bank in San Francisco, and they bought the 317-acre plot of land here as an investment. The land was donated to state parks in 1933.
You know, the forest is a great place to do a little grounding. What's grounding, you ask? Well, it's just like it sounds. You put your feet to the earth and start absorbing those electrons. They say it's good for your health.
This reserve is a great way to experience a healthy forest and a unique flower patch. And the best part is, the reserve is free and it's rarely crowded.
From Kruse Rhododendron Natural State Reserve, I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the back roads.
And now it's your turn. If you have something you think would be a great road trip destination, make sure you let John know all about it. Just text your idea to 916-321-3310. We'll be right back after this short break. Check this out. People across the world are getting a chance to see the northern lights because of a rare geomagnetic storm. These pictures were shared by Mary in Wales and Antonio in Italy. Some places in the U.S. will also see these beautiful lights, and you can head to our website, abc10.com, for an explainer on why and where the path will be tonight. Absolutely beautiful. And that is our show on this Friday night. Thank you so much for watching and for inviting us into your home. Remember, strangers are people we just haven't gotten the chance to meet yet. So take the time to get to know someone. Have a great night and a safe weekend. Hey, it's Alex. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. The To The Point team and I love hearing from you, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. And don't forget, you can always email me and the team at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send us a text message at 916-321-3310.